Good morning. Happy Saturday. Welcome to your early morning intuitive guidance. I'm in such a good mood. Can't wait to share this stuff with you. I'm Dr. Bonnie Nussbaum, here with some words of wisdom to start your day off well. And happy solstice. Happy solstice. I think that's a huge piece of why what's unfolding today is unfolding today. And we'll see what you all think and what you feel. Because this is really a heart and soul led endeavor. And so many aspects fell into place yesterday into today that I am just gobsmacked. Good morning to whomever is here. Your name isn't rolling, but I'm glad you're here. Welcome, welcome. Itchy nose today because things are blooming. It's going to be stultifying today. Good morning, Joe Neal. Glad you are here. Welcome. I'm glad you're here because I want to share this chunk with you because I think it's so profound today. We got profound stuff today. So where to even begin? So, little history. I've been waiting to hear from my son if he and his significant other are coming to visit. And every time I checked in, it was kind of like, well, we don't know yet, or we haven't gotten tickets, or yada, yada, yada. So Monday, I sent a text message because they were due to fly in yesterday. Good morning, Beth. Welcome. Glad you're here. Feel like there's something in this message for you today, so we'll see what you think. Anywho, back to the story. I texted on Monday and said, kind of a version of, am I to take it that you and Frankie aren't coming? Good morning, Carolyn. Glad you're here. Welcome. And he sent back, no, we're coming. Blah, 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 arrangements, yada, yada. And I'm like, it was a communication thing. The information had been conveyed to one person and assumed that that person would convey it to everybody else. It's not how it works. Good morning, Mel. Glad you're here. So they indeed flew into Minneapolis yesterday and are seeing friends there, and then those friends are driving them to Green Bay, which is where Frankie's mom is, spending some time there. Then they'll be here. Well, Logan will be here whatever day. Anyway, it's a convoluted thing. And then my daughter wanted to come because she hasn't seen her brother in a couple of years, and then realized she had changed her work schedule to accommodate something else, and now is going to try to change it again, and yeah, all the things. You know how this stuff goes. So there's been a pending feeling. I'm sure some of you, hello, lots in mountain. Awesome. Enjoy. So this message may be very relevant. There have been a lot of messages about travel recently, which I took as affirming my upcoming trip. I leave next Thursday. So there's going to be a chunk of time where, again, there are no early morning intuitive guidances, but there are a plethora of recorded early morning intuitive guidances. So look through. Find a title that grabs you, use one every day, pick one that really resonates and watch it for all the days I'm gone, whatever works, right? So yesterday, I was again piddling around with stuff. I have been piddling away at clutter clearing for quite some time now. And I do a drawer here and a chunk of the desk there and a little bit at the warehouse and et cetera, and just, it wasn't feeling satisfying. Let's put it that way. So did some work on, okay, what's going on here? And all I kept getting was, not yet. Good morning, Gwen. Glad you're here. Welcome. So, yesterday, did a little bit more. I can see the progress, but it wasn't feeling decisive. Let's use that word. So I was doing, let's see, what was I doing first? I did a little breath work when I went to bed last night. And all of a sudden I could feel things energetically shifting. And sometimes it's intense like that, and sometimes it's just sort of, oh, this is a little different. But it had that intensity of, okay, this is a major shift. And I thought, well, this makes sense because today's the solstice. It's some things are going to line up. Had watched a video the other day that had some stuff in it, including the messages about travel, and I thought, yeah, this fits. So felt this energetic shift. Someone, I can't remember who it was, called it the click, that they felt the click. Oh, I know, it's one of my clients. And she's been looking for the click, and it hasn't happened. And yesterday, it popped into my mind, my tagline: we're all capable of far more than we think we are. You are capable of far more than you think you are. That was a 3-year path to land on that tagline. And do you want me to tell you how it happened? I'm at one of my coaching events where I'm the client, and we'd been working on marketing stuff. And yes, it's time for clutter clearing. And I think this is a major thing. It's not just me, it's many of us. We need to clear our channels. We need to become clearer channels. Anywho, back to the story, and I'll try to pick up all the loose ends I've already flung all over here today. But we're at this event, and my coach is obviously aware that I've been laboring over this thing for 3 years. And we're in small groups, and we're working on our marketing stuff, whether it was logos or taglines or names for our businesses, blah, blah, blah. So it was my turn to present, and I was just frustrated, and I said, here's where I'm at. I know this. Here's the name of the business. At that point, it was Your Path to Empowerment and Purpose. I never was one for short titles. Now it's Empowerment Coaching. Make it simple, right? At one point, I owned Harbor Community Psychological Associates, all these long-handled things. They're a pain in the butt when you're answering the phone. There's your test drive. If you're going to name a business, do it as if you're answering the phone. It'll get you to throttle it back a bit. So I said what I knew about it, and I said, I'm just frustrated. I've been working on this for 3 years. I can't seem to land it. And some lady says very casually, so really what you're saying is your work is about helping people realize they're capable of far more than they think they are. Oh, there it was, out of the mouths of people I don't even know. Plop. Why? Because it was divine right timing and order. It wasn't meant to come through sooner than that. And the struggle was meant to be a part of the process. Again, I go back to the butterfly coming out of the chrysalis. It must go through the struggle. If we help it, we irreparably harm it. It has to go through that struggle. I think we oftentimes have the same things. Many feminine authors will talk about it as getting squeezed through a birth canal. We need to be squished. We need to be squished to get to where we're going and to be in the state we're supposed to be in when we arrive. So that's the beginning of this story. Felt the click last night. Then I started reading. This is what I'm working on right now. Tosha Silver's It's Not Your Money, How to Live Fully from Divine Abundance. And the reason I picked this one up was, yes, about the money stuff, but also about other types of abundance. Allowing my good. So this is what the reading was last night. Find my little yellow tab. Oh, it got pulled out. Okay, I'll find it anyway. If you have the book, it's on page 149, and it's called Honor the Cosmic Clock. People often feel tested when they're not getting the timing the ego wants. For 30 years, I did counseling sessions with callers from all over the world. She was a psychic. She did readings. Eventually, I began to feel quite confined and yearned to write and teach as I do now. However, here's the funny thing. The universe didn't seem to care my small self was bristling for a change. No matter what I tried, I was stuck like glue for 5 more years in that occupation. 3 years to a tagline, 5 years to change to the other career. I announced classes that never filled and programs that were uniformly ignored by my clients. It just wasn't time yet. Those final years felt like crawling on hot sand while scorpions nibbled at my toes. There's the struggle. When I was ultimately allowed to stop, I saw I'd been systematically prepared for a major turning point. But the longing to quit arose years before I was fully ready. By the time that agonizing process of surrender was over, my work finally belonged to God. I could live what I taught. I mean, how can you teach letting go when you can't do it yourself? Once it was time, she flung open the gates with abandon. Outrageous openness started to sell briskly, and people began to want the courses they'd blithely ignored earlier. The light had turned from red to green. It was go time. So say you're wishing to move from a particular job to your own gig. Offer it to love. You know the timing. You know the way. So you're basically saying to the universe, spirit, God, however you look at it, I'll follow your lead. I'm not going to forge my way through. I mean, you may end up doing some forging anyway, but you're following the lead of the divine. Pick up the clues, right? Let's see. Now, perhaps the shift will organically come faster than you'd imagined. However, you might be held in check for a while, just as I was. You might be chomping at the bit while invisible yet critical preparation is underway. If you only look at timing from the ego-based law of attraction mindset, you might think, I keep visualing it, I keep hammering at the universe, I keep saying what I want, but these damn doors just won't open. I must need more coaching. But a divinely timed spiritual birth is so different. And look at what we do with birth. We rush the process. We don't allow it to do what it's meant to do. We don't allow ourselves to labor with it. We've made it a medical procedure instead of a natural procedure. No wonder it gets messed up, right? No wonder our mortality rate, maternal mortality rate, is horrendous. We suck. Yeah. A divinely timed spiritual birth is so different. You offer the whole situation. You know my talents, you know my abilities. I long to be of service. If you want this change to come, please show me the first steps. This isn't wishful thinking, passivity, or hoping for the best. It's actually quite concrete. You cast the burden and ask to be shown the way. If no prompts come, either externally or through the inner spanda, then you might be in that divine holding tank. I like that concept. Divine holding tank. Being prepared. We're marinating, guys. We're marinating. But fear not. When it's time to act, you will. Sometimes you're even resting up for the new time, because once it comes, you'll be going full out. Especially those last couple of years of doing sessions, I felt profoundly, utterly, crushingly done. Yet the universe knew it was not time to open the gate. When it was time, the big changes happened almost overnight. And even if the shift takes a while, it doesn't necessarily mean you're doing anything wrong. Just keep offering. So thus my little card here. Spirit, if you wish this done, I need your help co-creating. You know my limits. The perfect road is already selected. So if this is the path, please fling open the doors. Divine holding tank. Yes, I love that. If it's meant to be, please bring me the ideal people and resources to do it in divine right timing. So then today, pull a card. The Allowing Prayers deck, which we haven't seen in a while, from Siobhan Nash. 57 invitations to spark a conversation with your soul. Our card for today is Allow Release. Allow Release. So if one or more of you would post these questions, there's 2 of them, I would be greatly appreciative, because I think as journaling prompts, these will be fantastic. The first one is, how are you dishonoring yourself by holding on to whatever no longer serves you? How are you dishonoring yourself by holding on to what no longer serves you? So I'll give you my example. Was it last week or the week before? Anywho, I had an image in my mind of a particular box of mine over at the warehouse. Most of my stuff is still packed in storage because I pretty much exist in the library here. So I went and found the box. I love pottery. I love art pottery. So there's art pottery from the 30s, 40s, 50s called Roseville. I love Roseville. I have a lot of Roseville. And I was seeing in my mind's eye these 2 particular pedestals. They're meant to have a jardiniere on top of them. I don't have the jardinières that match. I have the pedestals. They're beautiful. One of them I think is foxglove and the other one is in the bleeding heart pattern. So, unpack them, take them out of the bubble wrap, sit them there, and I'm looking at them, and I'm like, am I ready to sell these? Am I ready to be done? Pottery's hard to move, right? So, looking, trying to decide. Wrapped them back up, put them back in the box, put them back on the shelf. And then I was deflated. It was like, I thought I was ready. I thought it was time for these to go. I think it's now time for these to go. Thank you, Gwen. Thank you for posting our first question. Divine right timing. Today, it's going to be 92 flippin' degrees here with like 88% humidity. No, just no. Bonnie Nussbaum does not do 92 degrees and 88% humidity. So before it gets ghastly hot, I think I'm going to go grab a couple of my boxes, bring them into the house where the air conditioning is, and part with some stuff. Decide what's ready to go. And there's a line from the It's Not Your Money book that repeats. And it is, let what needs to go, go. Let what needs to stay, stay. That's where I think I'm at. I will look at this stuff. I will see, do I love it? Does it serve me? Do I need it? Could I easily replace it when I get wherever I'm going to be going? Then it needs to go. So that is our first question. How are you dishonoring yourself by holding on to what no longer serves you? Second question is, if you let it go, and you might even change the word, when you let it go, what would you be making space for that is deserving of your time, energy, and attention? So when you let it go, what would you be making space for that is deserving of your time, energy, and attention? And I will say, I think a lot of us have a hard time letting those things go because we don't know what's coming in. We're clearing space, and that old saw, nature abhors a vacuum, human beings abhor a vacuum also because we're part of nature, right? So, but we're uncomfortable allowing the universe, God, Spirit, to fill in that void when it's time. Divine right time. We want to jam something in there. Okay, I'll get rid of all this stuff and I'll bring all this stuff in. Better to clear out what's ready to go, hold the uncomfortable space until what's meant to come in can flow in. Because if you jam it full of something that artificially fits there, doesn't really fit, but takes up space, you're postponing your good. You're postponing what's supposed to be coming in. The idea behind clearing the space is so that there's somewhere for what's coming to land. Might there be a chunk of time before it comes into land? Yes, yes. Like Tosha said, for her, 5 years. For me, 3 years. Holding that uncomfortable space of, I don't know what this is about. Hold it, hold it, hold it. What needs to come in? Hold it with as much grace as you can muster. Hold it with the knowledge and wisdom that the divine will provide when it's time. Thank you, Gwen, for putting in the second one. I appreciate it. So, yeah, I'm just very smiley about... Oh, and I'll tell you one more thing. There's this young woman from Denmark who I love to follow on YouTube. She's got a little business, and she ships clothing that she makes or repurposes, vintage stuff all over the world, blah, blah. She's got this cute little house that she's tackled these major projects with, and it's just been fun watching her blossom. And she reminds me of my daughter. She's a redhead. So anyway, yesterday, she and her boyfriend have been looking for a house for a chunk of time, and they've put in some offers, and they've had a couple where they felt like this feels like a good fit, blah, blah. None of them happened. None of them happened. And of course, she's getting very discouraged, and I'm kind of smiling because I'm knowing, divine right timing, this or something better. And yesterday, she put up a video that basically says, guys, I think we found it. And energetically, she feels like this house is in alignment with who she is, where she's going, what she wants, etc. And they put in an offer, and now they're waiting to hear. It's so much fun finding these examples. Oh, there's another one too. There's this young man I follow out of Georgia, and he was a dancer and choreographer in New York City. Now he is an influencer in Georgia. Bought this house, is redoing it, blah, blah. He had the project from hell. It was basically an upholstered chair he picked off a curb, and his image was deconstructing it, and he put up some examples that he had seen on Facebook, YouTube, wherever, in Instagram, whatever. And he wanted to take leather jackets and take them apart and make this leather chair with the buckles and all kinds of stuff. It's been a several-year project. He just finished it up. So it's the same thing over and over and over. Right now is time to finish up projects. Right now is time to let go of the things that you're done with. You just kind of know you're done with. And maybe you've been knowing you're done with, but the doors haven't opened for what's next. Keep the faith. Keep the faith, people. Keep the faith. The doors will open in divine right timing and divine right order. So that was long-winded, but hopefully there's been some useful stuff in here to help you with your own journey and your own biding of time, the P word, patience. Yeah. So have an awesome Saturday. We'll see you again tomorrow. Remember, you're capable of far more than you think you are.